Hi. Hi there. I'm Rick. This is the D-pad. And I had kind of a different sort of video that I wanted to do real quick here. I don't know how long this is going to be. Depends how much I ramble. But I thought it'd be good to give you guys kind of an update on the state of the Mega Let's Play and maybe a slightly vague look at what I've been working on. If this is your first time here, you've picked kind of a hell of a video to show up for. There's literally thousands of other videos that might be a slightly better slice as to what we do here. This is something that I usually don't do at all, but it felt right for the occasion. And if you're not new, if you've been around the block a while, you probably are aware that other than Star Force 2 and 3 and a one-off Christmas special back in 2022, we haven't produced any Mega Man content since October of 2022. And what you might not realize, whether you're new or old, is that January 19th, 2025, the day that this video should be going live if all goes according to plan, is actually the 10th anniversary of the Mega Let's Play. 10 years ago today, we published a brief history of Capcom, as well as the first episode of a Mega Man 1 Let's Play that would kick off what was never really expected to be this long of a project, but here we are. That also makes this video kind of a 10th anniversary thing of sorts. It's a little bit different from what we've done in the past. And in addition to all of that, and this wasn't really planned, I just kind of jumped on it because it was there, this is actually our 1999th video in the Mega Let's Play. I have something a little bit more interesting and fun cooked up for the 2000th, which you should be seeing later today or maybe tomorrow. I'm almost done with it. By the same token, it also feels kind of wrong to be doing like a big 10th anniversary thing when the 8th and 9th anniversaries both passed us by without us doing anything really special or us doing basically anything but Star Force since before then. But I figured I'd break the silence a little bit and give you an idea of what I've been working on over the course of 2023 and 2024. I don't want to really get into details about how the project has evolved over the past 2 years. I'll probably talk about it a lot after the fact and maybe even in the video itself. I'm still kind of writing little bits and pieces. But essentially, originally, between Chapter 7 of Mega Man 8-Bit Deathmatch and Mega Man's Christmas Carol 2 was supposed to be a brief history of Mega Man Legends 3. A deep dive into the development, hype cycle, and collapse of kind of the most infamous canceled project of the franchise. And actually, before the pandemic got started, when we really had a lot more momentum behind us, I was kind of hoping that this video would even maybe work as a 10th anniversary special of the cancellation of Mega Man Legends 3, which those of you who are big fans of the series, not us, of Mega Man, I guess us too, of Mega Man may have in your head. You might realize like, oh, that would have been back in like summer 2021, which, yeah, that was like 3.5, almost 4 years ago. So obviously things have changed. So essentially, as 2022 ended and we were getting into 2023, I had this Mega Man Legends 3 project I wanted to get into. And I know what you're thinking. Hey, you have covered Mega Man Legends 3 before, haven't you? And yes, at least once in pretty decent detail. And we've kind of talked about it here and there, both in our video Let's Play content and also in some of the video essays as well, especially I think Mighty Number 9, we probably talked about it then too. I really wanted to do a nitty-gritty deeper dive on this, but I wanted to figure out a better way of doing it than just covering again, but in more detail. Like, that's not necessarily a very interesting way to do that. So I spent some time as we got into 2023 trying to figure out like, hey, how are we going to cover this in a way that's fresh and interesting and is going to not just be a retread of stuff we've already covered 1.5 times before. And that really got me to thinking about the franchise in general. And one of the more interesting things to me being, it feels like, and maybe I'm biased on this, it feels like Mega Man is a pretty well-known character, pretty mainstream, not ubiquitous, but like you could probably say Mega Man and people at least generally, even if they're not gamers, have a vague idea who Mega Man is. But Mega Man historically has not sold very well. It's probably the most long-lived franchise that's sold as poorly as it has in the grand scheme of things. Like for something like 35 years, Mega Man 2 was the highest grossing game in the entire franchise, and that came out in 1988. And it wasn't until Mega Man 11 came around that it was finally surpassed. And now I want to say Mega Man 11, Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection, and maybe Mega Man X Legacy Collection. There's one other that's very close if it hasn't passed it. But now there's games that are actually surpassing Mega Man 2, which had only sold about 1.5 million games by comparison to, say, Resident Evil or Street Fighter, which routinely sell millions of copies even with their worst games. So it started to become kind of a hybrid project in my mind. It wasn't just about Mega Man Legends 3, the subject of which I think people who are in the scene are probably pretty familiar with at this point. I think most of the major players in the Mega Man community were personally involved in one way or another. Either they were part of Capcom community, or they were making videos in the earlier days of YouTube talking about hyping it up, or the cancellation, or you've got obviously the movement Get Me Off the Moon that was 100,000 strong to bring back Mega Man. And I couldn't get out of my head that thought of like, what is wrong with Mega Man? That was kind of the thought that was like really stuck in my head the most. And it's not like the character's fine. It's not the video games. The video games are perfectly fine the vast majority of the time. There's bad ones, but most series have bad games too. And it's not even necessarily the franchise. The franchise, I mean, you could point to super saturation a little bit, like they over marketed and oversold themselves a little bit. Too many games coming out at the same time. Mid 2000s game journalism was not kind to Mega Man because everything was very repetitive in that regard. It was more of like an abstract, like what is wrong with Mega Man? Like why is it not possible for it to succeed or thrive or even seemingly survive anymore, when it seemed like it was able to churn stuff out like nothing in the 90s and the 2000s. And then we got to the end of 2023, and I figured, all right, I've got a pretty good idea of what I want this video to be now. I've got a clear picture of like the main thrust, but also some interesting angles to view it from. There's more that's even in there that I haven't talked about yet because I do want it to be a surprise. These franchise plays, the premise is that we're taking a kind of a long look at these franchises to witness them from beginning to end. And this was a rare chance to kind of summarize a lot of that experience. Because I think Mega Man has more character to its history than most video game franchises tend to. Not all of them. There's obviously some that are, similarly, roller coastery or nuanced in how things have gone down. But Mega Man is one that has a particular amount of strangeness to it when you really start looking at it. So at this point, we were a year out from the last time we put out a real Mega Man video that wasn't just a special. And I was like, okay, I got to make this happen. We gotta get this video out. Maybe it can be like, we can bring it back as a Christmas special, 2023, and then we'll be right back into it 2024. And just timing wasn't working out. We had actually just moved. We bought a house last fall, so time wasn't really on my side. So it didn't come out then, and I was like, you know what? Whatever. I'll just get it done, and then I'll find a time that is worth releasing it whenever it's ready. Maybe it could be an anniversary special, April 2024. And as we got closer to April, and I was finishing up what I wanted for a script, a lot of things went down. And I realized that, especially based on the scope and the direction I was taking with the script, I was going to need to pause and maybe even start over. Essentially, I realized that this was going to become a lot more complicated, a lot larger, and one that I was going to have to take a lot more seriously than projects I've done in the past. Once things expanded in 2024, I realized that it wasn't just a matter of, I don't want to get things wrong. It very clearly became, I cannot get anything wrong with this. I have to do it right. I have to get every detail correct if I'm going to include stuff, and I need to be 100% sure that everything that's in here is cross-checked and referenced and very crisply, cleanly enunciated, and I need to be sure of the way that I write everything that is involved in this. It's taken a lot longer than I expected. I understand fully now how other video essayists tend to take several months at a time to make these, even with nothing else on their plate in terms of video content. So this video, back at the start, was intended to be like, probably a Christmas 2022 special, and then maybe it was going to be a anniversary 2023 special, and then whenever it's done in 2023, maybe Christmas 2023, maybe anniversary 2024. Low key, I was keeping it to myself. I was like, you know what? We're really starting to get some momentum going. There's been a lot of legwork. Somewhere after the video, I think there's going to be kind of like an aftercare style, more casual chat, I guess, about the making of the video. And I want to go over some of the stats about what's gone into this. This is easily my most heavily researched topic. If you're familiar with us, then you probably are familiar with A Brief History of Michael Jackson's Sonic the Hedgehog 3. We made that back in, I think, October 2016. That one, I had the benefit of being able to cheat a little bit in the sense that I was there and a bunch of material related to that was connected to an account that I had on Sonic Retro back in, the 2000s. So it was very easy to locate primary sources for all of this stuff. This is a lot more difficult. And there's a lot of incidents and issues going on that are completely outside of anyone's control. They're driving the shape of this in a big way. I'm very excited to be able to put it out, in the sense that, like, it's been a lot of work. I'm proud of what I've put together so far. There's still a ton of work to do. But I think when all is said and done, it's going to be a project that I can be, proud of putting together, and hopefully it helps some folks. I can say that when it's done, it will certainly be a YouTube premiere. There may also be, I think I'm going to do a YouTube giving, is that what it's called? Oh God, the little charity thing that goes along with that. I think that'd be an important thing to attach to it. But those are details for another day. But in a break from my usual, attempt to like hype people up about stuff I'm working on and come up with target dates for things, I'm going to be responsible about this and, essentially just say that it'll be done when it's done. And I'm not going to put a target date on this, other than I am working as quickly as I reasonably can to get this done well, but also, get it done sometime before the heat death of the universe. I have no idea how long it's going to be either. And on top of that, we have 2 completed Let's Plays, for the Mega Let's Play ready for as soon as it's done. We have one from, 2024. We have one from 2022. That are waiting in the wings and ready to rock the second that thing goes up. But I would prefer to focus on this and get it done, and then we can continue with the Mega Let's Play. It'll be nice. It'll actually be, in some ways, be kind of a chance to exhale a little bit and get back into the swing of things. So that'll be good. That's all I really have to say about it right now. I don't want to get into any more details. If there are a few people, there are a very small number of people who are aware of the details of what I'm working on. Otherwise, I mean, feel free to chat amongst yourselves. I probably won't be answering any questions on it right now, because I want to keep what's going on with this under wraps until it is actually properly done. I want to handle this correctly. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys' patience. And I understand that it's been forever. Trust me, I would love to get back to just regular stuff again too. But, this takes a bit of priority, I would say. So I just wanted to come out and talk to you guys about this. It's been a really long time. It's been, I think, 16 months. It's been like 50 months. It's been like 27 months, I guess, since the last real video that we did. So I get it. It's one of the pillars of our channel, and it's been kind of sitting there getting cobwebs. So I get it. But again, thank you guys very much for hearing me ramble, talk about this. I wanted to give kind of an update on where stuff has been, and give you guys a sense of why, and, I guess in some ways when you can expect things to get back to normal. Thank you guys very much. And the 2000th video of the Mega Let's Play will be up later today, maybe tomorrow, hopefully today. It's going to depend how quickly I'm able to get things done this weekend, but I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys are looking forward to what I'm working on, and I hope that we're able to do something good with it. So I don't know. We'll hopefully be able to do something there. So thank you guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.